slanging, my banging, my swinging, my coup. DeVille, scoop, DeVille.
Welcome, MV family, to our Thursday night Voice of the People, where your voice matters. Tonight's show is all about the people, where we answer your questions, address your posts, and discuss anything that is relevant to our people. But tonight, we're talking about the voice of the people. We have a voice in the house with us tonight. We have a very profound speaker with us, and her name is Miss Yolanda Naylor. Hello, Miss Naylor. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
All right. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you. It's great to have you. Now, we're going to get in conversation with Yolanda in just a little bit. We're going to give you a little background about her, and then we're going to start our conversation.
Yolanda Naylor, author, speaker, and founder of Transitional Health Incorporated, is passionate about improving people's lives through nutrition. She is a certified fitness nutrition specialist and youth exercise specialist. She has a military medical background, which helps her make sense of the cardiovascular, muscular, and skeleton system. She was a star athlete at Snyder. She once asked her coach why he didn't usually eat when they were on road trips. He answered, "I eat for a purpose, not just because." She didn't understand the significance of that advice then, until now as an adult when she was facing personal health challenges. Hello, Yolanda.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you want to start off by just kind of addressing the last part that I mentioned when you did ask your coach that question? Because obviously that's something that sticks with you.
Yeah, I just noticed, coming to and from road trips and basketball games, I noticed that when we stopped and would often stop at buffets or pizza places, that he always engaged in the conversation, but he really never participated in eating. And so one day while we were just walking back to the bus, I asked him, I said, "Coach, I just noticed, you never really eat when we make stops." He's like, "Well, I eat for a purpose. Not just because." So now that I'm older, I definitely understand that. We think food is to eat just to consume in order to fill our belly, but actually eating food and the types of food we eat is actually it should be deliberate, and it's actually to feed our cellular structure in order to help us with our nutrition and maintaining our health.
Right.
Wow. When you said eat to feed our cellular structure, I think, for a lot of people I meet with, that's something I need to put out there, because a lot of times having meeting after meeting, a lot of people like to meet at restaurants.
Correct.
And that can really get you caught up. And so you find yourself, unlike your coach, but eating because other people are eating, And so, yeah. That's a good point.
And eating now, like you said, it often can be challenging, but once you have a mindset and you're focused on nutrition, you will actually find the loopholes in that. So often, like you said, a lot of meetings are gathered around restaurants. So I find myself ordering a la carte often. Did I lose you?
Yeah. No, we can still hear you.
Okay, I can't hear you really in the mic. So I often order a la carte, where you can get your asparagus and your broccoli or your mixed vegetables. So once you start transitioning to a healthier mindset, healthier options will be a little bit more visible to you that you didn't originally think about.
Right.
Right.
That's good.
Did we get you back, Miss Yolanda? Well, and we're working on getting Miss Yolanda back, but here's a couple of tips some things that I studied and I realized. And she was talking about your cellular structure. We were talking about mental health in your diet yesterday. There was a study called the SMILE trial, where they took 67 individuals over a 12-week period. And not only did they feed them, but they gave them counseling. They changed their diet and they gave them counseling. They were people that were suffering from severe depression and anxiety. But what they found is, and Doc V, I know we're in about the same age range, but they found that people 50 and higher, if they had a high saturated fat diet or a high sugar diet, they suffered more from anxiety and depression.
Wow. Don't be trying to tell people my age.
No, I didn't. I was saying
No, I'm just
in
kidding.
the
I
range.
don't
I
care.
didn't say
I
your
don't
age.
care. I don't care.
All right, I think we're back. Miss Yolanda, can you hear us now?
Yes, a little
Okay.
better. Yes.
Now, and I don't know if you heard us, but that there was a study called the Smile Study, and they say people that are in the age of 50 and better, if they have a high diet in saturated fat and sugar, that they suffer more from anxiety and depression. Have you ever heard anything such as that?
It just makes sense because if you're not giving your body the nutrients that it needs to function properly, it's going to malfunction. It's just like it would an automobile. If you're not giving it the proper fuel, we've all experienced time a gas station has given us bad fuel, and we've noticed how our vehicle runs differently. It works the exact same with our nutrition.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to let you speak more, but I was talking about this yesterday. Is there some nutritional myths that we were misinformed of as we were growing up?
Where do I begin on that extensive? I'll give you the top three, which the biggest government moneymaker is we're too focused on protein and the need of protein. Not to be morbid or anything, but when was the last funeral or person you visited in the hospital that was dying or suffering from a protein deficiency?
Oh, that's a great question.
So it's just just an absolute myth, but it's a huge money maker for our government, just because the government needs us to eat milk and drink dairy. That's why years ago, and I'm probably dating myself, Oprah was in so much trouble because she said something about the cows, and they thought people would stop eating meat. Well, if they did that, our economy would suffer greatly. So the whole protein thing is a myth. The other myth is certain diseases run in our family: high blood pressure, diabetes. Though that's not true. What runs in our family is a lifestyle. So if you were brought up on chitlins and pork chops, and you and your grandparents and your parents have high blood pressure, then you have high blood pressure. I'm a walking testimony of that. Most of my family suffers from high blood pressure, diabetes. I do not. My father passed away of complications of type 1 diabetes, and my mother suffers greatly from complications of type 2. I don't eat what they eat. I discontinued eating the pork chops or the chitlins or the bacon and certain things like that. So that stops that. So the whole thing of it runs in your family. So I would just say our biggest barriers is one, the myth of, like I said, the protein, the myth of certain diseases run in our family when it's actually the lifestyle. Now you can have a what do you call it? You can have a predisposition to something, but if you do not cater to it, then you're not going to necessarily trigger it. And then the other myth is eating is expensive. Healthy eating is expensive. Well, if you really, how much is a bag of beans? How much is a potato? How much is water? So no, when you have the upcharges when you're at a restaurant and you order a salad and you want to add chicken or you want to add some type of steak to it. And then a lot of times the meat is the bigger portion of money on your grocery list.
Yes,
That's true.
Well,
Yolanda, I know. Can I just you want to say something?
No, I was just going to make it real funny.
Okay.
And then we'll get in the book. But Miss Yolanda, are you telling me bacon ain't a vegetable?
Let me think about it. Let me check my notes. Yeah, no, it's not.
I thought it was only when you put it on a baked potato.
Well,
Just
listen, so Yolanda, one of the things, or the chapters, I should say, chapter 4 in the book, I really like that chapter because you kind of expose and you shed light on your mother and father eating habits. And so you're talking about the environment. And so it's really interesting because a lot of things that I actually looked at on their list are things that I personally like. And we talked earlier, one being ice cream.
Right.
And so, and I was asking you, help me find some healthy ice cream because that's one of the things that I like.
Okay, so what ends up happening really often, what we are chasing is textures. So, like I said, I am an ice cream addict. So, so much like I make sure I try not to drive down Broadway in the summer because of Zesto. So, and those are just really the little things that you have to do. So, what you're really doing is you're looking for that comfort that of ice cream that brings you. So, what I recommend, what helped me was smoothies, and instead of using dairy as far as milk or yogurt, what I often did was just use the avocado and the fresh fruits, and then there was just other natural sweeteners. Like I said, once you gravitate and you really have a what real sugar tastes like versus processed sugar, that will help that. And then even if you made that blend and then you froze it, that's a healthy way, because really, like you said, you're chasing the texture of it. Just like often we're chasing the texture of meat, and that's why a lot of people now are incorporating jackfruit, that gives a meaty like texture.
Jackfruit.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that.
Yolanda, do you believe, we talked a little bit last night about food deserts, especially right here in our own area. So, I mean, do you believe that having little access to healthy foods, would you say that that's a myth, or do you think that that is something that absolutely prohibits somebody from making healthy choices if they have to drive farther away, to get to a store, per se? So the food deserts.
So, my organization, Transitional Health, what we are known for is we don't call it a food desert, what we're experiencing in the 468060716. We're experiencing a wellness desert. So our problem is a lot greater than just not only the access to fresh produce. We do not have a GNC, any type of vitamin or vegetable shop. We do not have a variety of fitness exercises communities. Just like we just got the Planet Fit, but we don't have like a 9 rounds or a lot of the other type of creative exercise. So even if we didn't want to buy supplements or vitamins, we don't even have a place where we can go and ask someone an educated question.
Exactly.
And the same way with, even if we couldn't afford to join a gym, there's nowhere where we can really go in and ask anyone. So yes, food desert, wellness desert is definitely true, because what's happening is when we do go to the doctors, or we go to our doctor's appointment, or we go to the hospitals that's far north or far west, and our doctors are giving us this list of things to try to eat healthier, well, we come back to our own community and it's not there.
Yes.
And then also with that wellness desert as well, we do not have a lot of the education and speakers that come to our community to discuss health and wellness as they do on the north side or the west sector of our town.
Right, I completely agree.
Right. Well, we have a couple of copies of your book right here on the panel with us. It's The Truth About Your Health.
Yes.
What inspired you to write this book, and where did the idea come from? And before you get because I want to ask you 2 questions. Can you also give us insight about your organization as well and the purpose of your organization?
Okay. With the book, what inspired the book was basically the book is all the lectures that I have done in the community. Little educational workshops to basically, like we said, get rid of the myths, and answer the question like, why are we so sick right now? Why are we overweight at unhealthy weights? And again, when we talking about unhealthy weights, it's not always the larger person. It's also the underweight person as well. So when we're talking about health, I just want to make that clear. Skinny does not equate healthy. So so the book is a collection of all of my lectures that I gave. And the other inspiration, and the guys want to speak up, Matthew and Mackenzie are in here with me. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
We got
So it was important to me that I had to lead by example. I was brought up old school as far as do as I say, not as I do. But this new generation is not that. So if I woke up eating starting my day and ending my day with Fruity Pebbles and Captain Crunch and then telling them they can't do that. They ain't having that.
Right,
Right.
right.
So they have to see me get it in. So how'd you guys start your day today?
We woke about 5:45 a.m. and started working out.
All right. And then when you went in to buy food to last you today, when you ran into the store to grab your lunch for today, what did you grab? Speak up.
5 apples, 2 nectarines, a jar of natural peanut butter, and a loaf of 100% whole wheat bread.
And what would you grab?
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't grab anything.
he didn't, but he had some. But when we were driving today, he was like, "Hey, can I make a smoothie when I get home? I have some organic bananas and this and that." So it's important that they mimic me. I'm their first example, you know, and leader. So they have to see me do it. They have to see me. You know, I have to outwork them, you know, so that's really what the book was inspired by me leading by example in my family, to my youth, to my community. So a lot of times when people see me, even I don't know who they are, they're like, oh Lord, here come Yolanda, put that away. Ain't nothing in here for you, Yolanda, you know what I'm saying? Or when they have a meeting, they make sure, you know, so one of my chapters talks about that. You know, when that's the lifestyle you live, people will cater to you and make exception and make room for your healthiness. Mm-hmm. So your other question was
your organization. Give us some insight on your organization.
Yeah, so Transitional Health, not-for-profit organization. Basically, it's what we were talking about earlier. I developed it to answer the call to us being in a wellness desert. I wanted, so like when people think of wellness and nutrition in our community, I want them to think of transitional health. And I think that, you know, like I said, I thank you again for having me here and thinking of our organization. And that's why I created it. And I made it a not-for-profit because, as you know, people often buy what they want and not what they need.
Amen.
So a lot of times when I have workshops and I do a lot of different things, it's of no cost if I have a charge at all. So I made that a not-for-profit. So people, there's so, like one of my chapters says, no excuses. There's no excuses because, I show people where you don't need a nutritionist and you do not need a personal trainer. You know, we can do this. We just need to stop complicating it.
Amen.
And one of the other things you say is don't get caught.
Yep, don't get caught. One of my bracelets, and then I think that may be one of the chapters in there, but that's our motto: more drive-throughs than drive-bys are killing us. So, we're filling these morgues up from complications of these pharmaceutical drugs that we're taking in order to try to overcome our poor nutrition.
Miss Yolanda, you just opened a door, and I think we had this conversation amongst our panel before we came on air. Now, you said we don't need a nutritionist and we don't need a personal trainer, but what is this in our community? And I know you ran across it. These fad things such as diets, teas, pills, and different things. What is your outlook on those, or your take on those?
I have a chapter in there in regards to consistency works. So it's exactly what it is. It's a fad. It's a temporary fix. It puts people in, just gives them a bad misconception of what really nutrition is. And the reason why I say we don't need a nutritionist or a personal trainer, because if I give you a quiz right now, if there's an apple or a bag of potato chips sitting in front of you, which one should you choose?
I'd choose that apple.
Okay.
I hadn't had one
if
today.
there's a soda or water in front of you, which one should you choose?
I'm gonna choose water all day.
If you have something, should you fry it or should you broil it?
It depends on what it is.
What you choose is fine, but at the end of the day, you know the correct answer.
Yes.
So so we know the correct answer. It's just a matter of not whether we're going to do it or not. And as far as a trainer, hey, just simple walking. I'm not sure why 5 simple things that we were taught in elementary school. Let's do some jumping jacks. Let's walk. let's do some sit-ups and some push-ups.
Right.
I mean, let's do some squats.
Good stuff.
If you just do those 5 simple exercises, 1 minute, a couple rotations, like, that's all we need. We don't need weights. We don't need a treadmill. Most of the times, if you really see real athletes like gymnasts and you see boxers, they're not lifting weights. They're not in the gym. What are they doing? They're pulling their own body weight.
Right. They're moving.
They're moving, but they're using their own body weight. Because if I say, hey, let's get down right now and do a push-up, and if you can't do 10 good solid push-ups, what do you need a set of weights for?
Wow.
I think she's throwing darts now,
That
Miss
is
Yolanda.
so
That ain't even right.
And so Yolanda, when you
Can't
say
do 10
that,
push-ups?
you make me think about consistency, because I believe, I can speak for myself, I believe that's the issue.
Yes, consistency works. So what? And as we were discussing earlier, it's not about going in the gym and killing it. I don't recommend people going in the gym trying to kill it and then they quit in another 3 or 4 weeks, or they injure themselves. I just want you to go in the gym, or not even in the gym, walk around your neighborhood consistently once or twice a week for 20 minutes and keep doing it. Because I'd rather see you continue doing it in another 3 months and 6 months, because you're not injured, but you're doing it consistently and in a safe way.
Right.
And the level of consistency will also contribute to how people take you serious or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then to include the diet in it. You know how people say that, well, I want to exercise, but I find it hard to do it. Well, one big factor is your diet. It's a mind-body connection. If you have a good diet, it connects with the mind and it connects with the body. It's 3 in 1.
That's
Yeah.
so awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. Good stuff.
And to add what he's saying, again, I like to try to just give example. So when you think of your car and you think of fuel, okay? So say you have a classic car, you put gas in it. So when you put gas in it, just putting gas in it and it's sitting, is it going to do any good?
No.
No. What do you have to do?
Drive
Drive it, because the gas and the oil circulates throughout the car and gets it to all the parts that it needs to get to keep the car running efficiently. So that's the whole thing with nutrition. So when you're eating, that's why they say diet and exercise. So when you're eating, again, to fill to compensate and to help the cellular structure, you need the exercise so the heart can pump and deliver it to the places it needs to go.
That's right. Yolanda, one of the things you say is there's no money in healthy people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, like it goes along with the chapter. I think it says about big business. Let's see what chapter is that. Let's see. Don't get caught eating power. Guilty.
Don't get caught. That's chapter.
Yeah,
8.
there's one is about being unhealthy. It's just basically big business. So what would happen to our economy if everybody got healthy? How many people, we all know someone here that has a job that works in health and wellness. I don't care whether they're a custodian, whether they work in transportation, whether they're in dietitian, whatever it is they're in, look how many people are employed because we are unhealthy. So let them become unhealthy. How many jobs will we lose?
I have a question for you, Yolanda.
Yes, sir.
The difference between vegan, vegetarian, and then just a regular diet. What are the benefits one from the other for any individual?
None of them equate healthy.
Wow.
Wow.
You can be a vegan and still eat chips. You can be a vegan and still eat Oreo cookies, or anything, So they don't equate healthy. What equates healthy is the first chapter, as far as identifying food versus food like. Eat foods that come from a plant and not manufactured in a plant. So not complicating it. So if you're looking at your plate and you can't think of the tree or the seed or the plant that it came from,
get it off the plate.
You're going down the wrong path. But now we're looking at You can't tell if we took off all the signage of two big manufacturing 10,000 square foot plants. You can't tell whether it's GM or if they're making or if they're making some other type of processed food in there.
Okay, so is meat? I know meat hurts the body, but how harmful is it to the human body?
So one of the things I think we have to do is we have to think of our body inside out. Okay. I don't know how far back you want to go with it, but I want to answer how harmful it is. And so I'm going to try to give you a visual. Remember, bring it home. Remember, you used to buy the whole chickens and you cut them up in the sink?
Yep.
Right.
And all that grease and residue?
Yes.
Okay, so now imagine that, how it goes down the drain, but that's your artery. So all that grease and residue, because again, we're feeding the cellular structure. So that's really all diabetes is. People are telling you that diabetes happens because of sugar. No, meat and animal products cause diabetes because what happens is it fills up the cellular structure with so much fat and toxins. We need sugar, and sugar can't absorb like it's supposed to because we're eating so much, consuming so much grease and fat from the meat and animal products. And so, like you say, when people they lose weight drastically because again they're not getting sugar because now they're urinating it all out because it can't absorb into the body. So the meat and the meat and the dairy products is the foundation of most of our illnesses.
So meat and dairy products.
Yep, animal products.
Okay, chronic disease. 6 in 10 adults in the U.S. have a chronic disease. 4 in 10 adults in the U.S. have 2 or more. And then they say the key factors of risk are tobacco use, poor nutrition, lack of physical activity, and excessive alcohol use. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, very, very true. And like I said, we're kind of getting better with the tobacco use, but we're going to the vapor thing, so that's a whole nother Jerry Springer. Then the whole alcohol thing, that's a, again, that's politics. Why are our liquor stores opening at 7 o'clock in the morning when on the north side they're opening at 10 and closing at 8, and ours are staying open until 11 and 1 o'clock in the, so that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation. But then when you go back to the chronic disease all goes back to animal products and processed food.
So what do you say to any human being as far as eating healthy? I know consistency has been said a lot, but what advice could you give us as well as our viewing audience tonight to move forward with their health?
Know your history. A lot of times we're still caught up on the slave diet. We don't want to talk about such a dark period in our culture, but then we start our diet and what we eat and what we're attracted to at that. When the truth of the matter is, our true culture, we were plant eaters. We were gatherers and hunters. Because you think about it, God gave us everything that we need, that we're supposed to be equipped with in order for survival. So back in the beginning of time, we couldn't chase down any type of animal. We didn't have tools in order to cut an animal up or means in order to eat animals. What were we naturally born with? We were naturally born with 10 fingers in order to pick vegetables, to pick fruit, to gather and eat. So tools and all those type of things in order to capture and to hunt didn't come till down the line, and that was far and few. So the animals that are supposed to be eating meat, they're designed. A lion can run 50 miles per hour top speed to chase down his meat. Then on top of that, his teeth are designed to tear skin off, crush bones, and tear flesh. And his digestive system is designed with 2 bellies in order to with real high toxic acids to break the food down, and their second stomach is designed to grind the food up. So my thing is, know your history. And what did your people really eat? And why do they have? Why are we losing our teeth versus when you really look back, they had full sets of teeth still.
Yes.
That's good stuff.
That's
That's
good.
real good.
So get rid of that slave. We want to get rid of slavery and all that. Well, get rid of the slave mentality, the slave education, and the slave diet.
That's right. The legacy of slavery.
Understand why those foods were made that way, because we were eating scraps and we had to do and fix those foods a certain way just so we could stomach them.
So in your heart, Yolanda, your book, when you wrote your book, the relevancy of your book from the inside of your heart to us as the people that would read it and consume to get educated on health, what was your biggest motivator?
My biggest motivator in the book is really the family history. Understanding things don't run in the family. Habits run in the family.
Okay.
So if we can really conquer that, again, it goes back to home, and it goes back to our spiritual background. When you think of studying the Word, whether it's the Quran or whether it's the Bible, every time God did something profound, He told people to stop eating, stop eating bad, and stop drinking bad. So if you really kind of study that, when they talk about mistreating your body with food and mistreating your temple with food, is no different from how a prostitute mistreats their body sexually.
Amen. Amen. Well,
That's good.
we only have a few more questions. I think Miss Jill got one, and then we're gonna get you out of here, Miss Yolanda.
Okay.
I just want to know where people can find your book.
YolandaSpeaks.com, YALONDA speaks.com, or on Amazon. On Yolanda Speaks, if you get it off of the website, I send you an autograph copy. And from Amazon, of course, it just comes straight from Amazon.
Okay.
Well, I just want to.
I got one more thing before.
Go
ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Matthew.
Thank you. Well, I just want to share this, though, that we all need to know. So you notice how you eat one bag of chips, okay? Your body isn't full yet. You eat another bag of chips. Your body still isn't full yet. It's just like the comparison of the two bellies of a lion. But we have one belly as a human. So what if that one belly was only designed to eat what we need, like she said, instead of what we want? The bag of chips is what we want. Since we want it, we want to get full by it. So we're going to eat one bag, 2 bag, 3 bag, 4 bag, 5 bag. But what would happen if you eat a whole apple? How many apples would you think you eat to get full?
Exactly. Good point.
That's a great point.
Yep, because that's what it's designed to do. It fills that fiber is what our body needs, and it triggers it. And again, our brain has a trigger. So when you're not feeding your body what it's not designing that it doesn't need, it keeps sending the signal that it's not full. But when you start eating the foods that it needs, it sends a trigger like, this is what we need, and then it cuts that craving notification off in the brain.
Yeah, yes.
Wow,
Well,
that's a good point.
Miss Yolanda,
Yes.
we thank you for being here. We could go on for days with just talking to you. And we're going to have you back. You have given us a lot more information, and we're going to cross this topic again. And your two young men, can they introduce themselves, and we want to thank them as well.
Well, my name is Matthew Hicks.
My name is Mackenzie Hicks.
But they don't want to be on the camera.
Go ahead.
You and
There they go. Hey. Thank you, gentlemen, for participating in our conversation as well. But Miss Yolanda, before we go, I got a serious question. We were having a discussion before we got on air. I got a bet with E.
Oh Lord.
I
got.
You can do it.
Yeah, so this is the thing. What's the support system like? Because, I don't just like going around. It's almost kind of like one of them title fighters. Like, you don't just give anybody a chance, you know? So, you know, he'd have to come with a little bit better credentials for I'd even give him a shot. Yeah. He'd have to come with some.
That's all it is.
I got all.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, yeah. But we thank you again. We thank you again.
Thank you for coming.
Awesome.
We're going to have James close us out, but I want to thank our MV family for staying with us right now. And we want you, if you learned something new, please click, like, and share, and go to our YouTube page. And go to our YouTube page and subscribe. Also, support Miss Yolanda.
Yes.
The Truth About Your Health. She gave you where to go get it. You can get it on Amazon or Yolanda Speaks. Go support Yolanda and learn more about your health. We need to do better. We need to do better.
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Awesome.
So we want to thank you guys for tuning in with us this evening as we discuss health. Ms. Yolanda, once again, we thank you for being with us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Got one thing I want to share with you, man. The WHO organization, the World Health Organization, they simply said that there is no health without mental health. Mm-hmm. So we want to encourage everyone out there that's listening to us to take care of yourself. Eat better, do better, and take care of your mind and your body. It's your responsibility first. This is Nutra Voices. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube page, we ask that you go there and do that for us, so we could definitely use your support there. We love you, we adore you, and we'll see you on the next set. God, take care.
Chase 405 is the freeway, slanging my, banging my, swinging my coupe. DeVille.